Let's spin the commando wheel and figure out who we're talking about today.
Intercepted. Throw it right into the hands of Quan Martin, and the safety takes it inside the 40 to the 37.
Man, I'm really excited about what he is, what he can be, and I just feel like he's one of those people. I'm feeling this momentum take place for him to ride this big wave in, because he's just gaining confidence in this new system.
Goff, some pressure again, lets it fly high. It's intercepted, picked off by Quan Martin. Martin with some blocks inside the 20, still going. Martin, pick six.
That was Quan Martin's playoff pick six to help get the Commanders to the NFC Championship game. In fact, in a high-scoring shootout, it was at that moment. I think that was right before halftime.
Yes,
they went up by a bunch, and I thought, oh, my God.
Dude, they might win.
They're going to win this game.
When they let go that enormous blindside block on that pick six of Jared Goff, I can't remember, it was Luvu or somebody, not like decluded him and knocked him on his butt, and they were like, yep, that's fine. I went, oh, my God, it might be our time.
Well, here's what I didn't know about that game.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jared Goff was going to play so terribly. I mean, he was so bad in that game. It was so embarrassing to watch a quarterback just stumble his way through a game and throw up all over himself. I'm sorry, Ryan. I mean, Goff was really bad.
He was pretty horrendous. I mean,
I'm not talking about the 5-interception game from earlier in the year on national TV.
You're not talking about that one.
I'm talking about
it's a different big game that he didn't play well in.
3-interception, 4-turnover game that single-handedly knocked the Lions out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That game.
Yeah, he didn't have the 4th interception. That was a Jameson Williams production. Good call, Ben Johnson. Keep it up, dude.
Hey, where's my Ben Johnson alert? He's with the Chicago Bears. He's going to be silly.
But anytime you can go 23 for 40 with 3 interceptions against a terrible defense, you're doing great, sweetie.
That's the other part. Their defense stunk so bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Not that night, it didn't.
It was just fine.
They couldn't pick off Darius last year. If Toki Altizer was at quarterback with his hat backwards, they couldn't have picked him off. And yet they play Jared Goff in the playoffs, and it was an Oprah Winfrey game. You get one, and you get one, and you get one. I mean, that was tough. If you're a Jared Goff stan, like if you go to work every day, cock of the walk.
Just hoping someone asked me about Jared Goff.
Just chest out because Ben Johnson schemed up 342 and 3 scores. I mean, that is a tough way to live, to have to watch it all go up in flames like that in the final game of the season. Anyway, we should probably get into Quan Martin. I mean, this has just turned into one big troll of Clary who has to sit here.
I mean, it's going great.
Eat this bowl of soup.
I'm having an awesome time.
But we should probably talk about Quan Martin.
Yeah, get to it.
Quan Martin's turned himself into a really good football player. 2 seasons now. Missed 1 game last year, but I guess he's missed 1 game in both seasons, actually. If you remember his rookie year.
Yep, that's what I was going to bring up.
Initially, he barely played.
I mean, that's not a hyperbole either. 0 defensive snaps in week 1. Inactive in week 2. This is his rookie year. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 until the Atlanta game where he played 7 defensive snaps. He was not playable for a bad team as a rookie.
Well,
he grew into a role and by the end of the year was a bona fide starter.
That's a way to look at it. Or you could say that was a staff that was stupid and didn't know what it was doing. You could go with that
Possible
route too,
yeah.
And he should have been playing all along, but to each their own, whichever you prefer. But yes, bottom line, on a bad team and a bad defense, he did not get on the field.
Yeah, turned into a success story, yeah.
Second half of the season, he played a good bit and ended up starting down the stretch of his rookie season and showing fairly well. Last year, though, I thought they had a actually really good safety spot because when they go out and get Jeremy Chin and he played the way that he did, he got paid a nice raise and he moved on, and I think they'll miss him. He was their best safety. But Quan Martin, in that free safety role, playing center field, if you will, being able to roam a little bit and run, still a willing tackler, still a pretty physical player, made almost 90 tackles last year. I think he is just scratching the surface. Remember, he was a second-round pick. He was a top 50 guy. He was taken in the same range as basically guys like Mikey Sanristil and Ben Sinnott 1 year earlier. I know it's a different regime, but he was considered at the time of the draft. I remember still talking to someone on draft night and asking about him, and they said, that's my favorite nickel corner safety tweener in the entire class. I mean, there were people that really, really loved the player. only 25 going into year 3. I think this is going to be one of the real success stories of the Rivera Marty Party regime.
I would say so, right? I mean, a second rounder, this is actually what it's supposed to be. Quite frankly, a good quality starter that plays for your team and you don't worry about. But it started off so poorly, whether it was his fault, their fault, I don't care. It just did. The first 8 games of his career, more than that, actually, first 9-10 games of his career, you're going, well, this is another on a pile of terrible from Ron and the Marty and Marty law firm, right? They can't get out of their own way. He has turned into a very solid player. Now, not gospel. PFF doesn't have him in their top 32 safeties entering the 2025 season. So I don't think you've got somebody that's rangy, dynamic, game changer,
Can I ask
take
a
stuff away.
clarifier there?
Sure.
Top 32 free safeties or safeties?
Safeties in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So it obviously includes free, strong. I mean, although that's more interchangeable.
There's only 32 starting free safeties. So if he wasn't one of the, like, if you're saying he's 33rd on that list, okay. But what I wonder is this. Is he a guy that you could see making a Pro Bowl at some point? He's gotten popular here.
Yeah.
And I think there's people that would suggest that. But he defended 3 passes last year.
So here's how. Things break right. He has a 4 interception season. Not necessarily something he did remarkably well, but a couple overthrows or a tip pass here and there. You have a couple in the good column for a team that, has similar success, is on prime time a lot. You have a couple good breaks. He can make a Pro Bowl, but I don't think of him as that's a Pro Bowl safety, right? Whereas when I think of Xavier McKinney, Antoine Winfield, Kyle Hamilton, I go, that's a Pro Bowl safety,
so
whether they make it in a given year or not.
I'm curious. How many, Antoine Winfield's maybe a better version of this. Like, how many passes defended did the really good free safeties in the league last year have? Because a lot of the guys you're talking about,
see if I can find that.
Like, McKinney's actually a better example. Because a lot of the guys you're referencing are box safeties. Like, that's Jeremy Chin. You should get a bunch of tackles. You should be able to impact the game more often down in the box. But the guys that pick off a lot of passes, that roam around in center field, Quan Martin has 1 interception in each of 2 seasons. I guess he had 2 as a rookie, but 3 interceptions total now in 32 games. Like, you got to have one of those 7-8 interception seasons to end up getting your name into the Pro Bowl mix. He made a ton of tackles, which I think is nice, but that's more of, again, a strong safety thing. And it's anymore in the NFL. It's not one or the other, right? It's a little bit of both.
So Brian Branch leads safeties, according to this list I'm finding here on Pro Football Reference, with 16 passes defended, 4 interceptions. I mean, Detroit's up all the time. Teams are throwing on them. You're going to get your chances. Then you start going down the list. Guys like Kirby Joseph, Julian Love at 12, CJ Gardner-Johnson, same thing with Philadelphia, where you're going to get chances because they're winning a lot and teams are going to try to throw on you. But Xavier McKinney had 11, for example.
So I think he's got to probably be around 10 to 12 passes broken up, which is 3 times as many as he's had at any point.
Yep.
To get him into the conversation where you start to be really active and a force on the back end. And if you do that, generally his interceptions are going to become 4 or 5. And to me, that's what we're talking about as into getting into the Pro Bowl conversation. By the way, if you keep doing that and you're making 80 tackles, you're going to be considered one of the better safeties.
You're doing pretty good. I mean, again, just by way of example, Xavier McKinney, 8 picks last year. That's obviously a pretty remarkable year for anybody, let alone, a free safety. But typically the guys that are thought of up at the elite level, Jesse Bates, 4, that's kind of that 4 or 5 range to your point. So if he runs into a year like that, part good fortune, part good scheme, part, some pressure from up front, that could happen for him. But again, I don't put him in that tier, and that's not an indictment. I go solid starter, not worried about him. Would I like to have a superstar at every position? Of course, but this isn't fantasy football. We're building a roster here.
New show idea. Maybe this will be fun, or maybe it won't. A game where we play Diddy Bounce, and it's just a Danny Rouye Diddy. What team is that guy on now?
Ooh, just go like Charles Barkley. Who he play for?
Yeah, Xavier McKinney.
Did he leave Miami, or is he still in Miami?
He's not in Miami.
Well, then I don't know. So yes, he bounced. Is that the answer?
Did he bounce? He bounced. By the way, he was. I don't think he's ever been in Miami.
Did he bounce? Shut up, Danny.
Xavier McKinney was the New York Giants, not Miami.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Am I thinking of the lineman?
I don't know who you're thinking of.
There's a guy named McKinney who played for the Miami Dolphins.
I'm
not crazy, right?
This is going to be harder than I thought.
All right, Xavier McKinney played for the Packers at some point.
He currently plays for the Packers.
There you go. Okay. Who's the McKinney that's on the Dolphins? Now that's what I know you don't care about that.
Going with at this point. But last year, Xavier McKinney picked off 8 passes for the Packers.
Okay.
Did he bounce?
Did he bounce?
He's no. I thought you might think he was still a New York Giant still, based on the Jeremy Maclin thing. That could be fun. Who he play for? The Charles Barkley thing with Danny and NFL
It can't
players.
be Bryant McKinney from the 2013 Miami Dolphins that I'm thinking of.
Well, Bryant McKinney is more a Minnesota Viking for most people than a Dolphin
Totally.
anyway.
Like I have a McKinney and Miami association in my mind. I'm going to find that. I know we're doing the show, but that's not what's on my brain.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I'll open up the phones on Quan Martin for people at 800-636-1067. This is a win for Rivera's draft group. It's a second-round pick who's still on the team, which those are few and far between for them. But on top of that, he's a starter, and he's a good starter. He's very quality. He had a huge postseason run, including the pick 6 against the Detroit Lions. It seems like he's playing the best football of his career, now closer to present, which is what you want. He's ascending. He's getting better and better and better.